My name's Tamara Chambers.
And I'm Malcolm Ray.
And this is Tamara's Never Seen.
And I've never seen it either.
Today we are watching Doug Walker's favorite film, Brazil.
Looking at it, you can already kind of get a gist of what we're in for.
It gives me a very strong Doug vibe.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be primarily just trying to decide if we ourselves like it. Because,
right.
I mean, we can already kind of tell why this might be a Doug film.
I know nothing about it though.
I've heard it talked about in film school, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard about, you know, Terry Gilliam and
okay.
his crazy imagination.
That's the director?
Yeah, that's the director. Looks like he's got Robert De Niro in it.
Robert De Niro. Jonathan Pryce, who is the father of Elizabeth Swann in Pirates of the Caribbean. I didn't put up predictions on Twitter for this one because Doug actually filmed some for us. So we'll let you know what we think and then we'll show what he thinks we're gonna think. And we'll see if we think he thought what we were gonna think was right. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Just happened.
What?
I don't even know where to start with this movie.
What? Huh? Who?
No, it makes sense. This is definitely a Doug film. Mm-hmm. This is a Doug movie.
I feel like there was so much going on.
There's a lot.
I feel like I followed the story, but there was so much else going on.
Just when you think you figured out what you think is going on, more questions just bubble up to the surface. You're in this dystopian, industrial sort of, I don't even know what to call it. I want to say cyberpunk, but I know that's not right.
Right, it's got a very kind of BioShock feel.
It's set in a world where terrorism is apparently just a regular thing.
I mean, I think I missed so much. Oh, we had the subtitles on.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like I would have missed 50% more if I didn't have the subtitles on. I don't know what to feel about it.
Me neither. It was intriguing. It kept my attention. I wanted to know more. And that is a very good sign for a film when you want to know more about a world.
Just trying to figure out the world was its own, you could watch this so many times and I feel like still
you'll see something new each time because there's something going on in the background. There's just little details. There's ducts, these massive ducts everywhere in every building.
Right, and it all has to do with
information
and that's how they get it. Yeah. Right. Weirdly, it has to do with air conditioning, heating, and then information passing. The bare bones of the story is that Sam Lowry is in love with this woman who he keeps having daydreams about, and in the midst of finding her, he gets caught up in a lot of bureaucratic trouble and misinterpreted identities and just a lot to get after this woman. Who he ends up with in the end. Oh no, he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. There's a lot of twists.
Yeah.
Is this a spoiler show or?
Yeah, we can spoil it because it came out in 1986.
Okay, so if you haven't seen it now.
Sorry.
He has these daydreams about this woman. You know, he sees himself as this stalwart hero with wings that
just so cool.
Yeah. So in his dreams he's flying around fighting bad guys and he's constantly pursuing this love of his life. And one day while he's going to work, he sees her image on one of the TV screens, those TV monitors, and from then on he's just awestruck. He's like, oh my god, this woman actually exists in real life. And so the story is him trying to get to this woman and figure out who she is, and they end up on a whirlwind adventure where he's trying to protect her from the organization, but it ends up backfiring. It's
the kind of script where it's gonna always be relevant, I think. There's always gonna be aspects of what's happening in the film happening in real life, lot of things you can tell have just really been influenced by this movie.
Yeah, I definitely feel like BioShock was heavily influenced by this film.
A lot of weird, gory, cool parts too, like the plastic surgery, when the explosions would happen. Really great effects, I thought. I'm glad you were here. I feel like watching this alone, I would have it's a lot to observe and just try to process.
we were here for each other though, kind of like
yeah.
we had to talk to each other throughout this film to make sure we were on the same page. It's like, okay, good. I'm not the only one that's completely lost at this moment.
So in the very end, we were both just like, what in the action? It really goes off the rails at the very end. He's getting tortured, and I guess his brain just kind of checks out, and he creates this whole fantasy for himself. Throughout the film, he goes from dreaming as like this winged hero into like reality.
Yeah,
and so you're like, now it's like half and half. What is happening? We can't really tell. And then it turns out that it was just a fantasy in his mind, which was really sad. But I'm so glad that that's how it went. I'm so glad that it wasn't just like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why is this film named Brazil of all things.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, like the song Brazil comes up a lot. People are humming it, it's playing in the background, it's part of the film's theme. The composer said that he wanted to free the samba away from the tragedies of life, of the sensual scenario already so explored. So I guess it's speaking to escapism, I guess. And that's kind of the theme of this film. It's like Sam's constantly trying to escape from the hardships of reality.
I also really want to know what the budget was for like the sets and the props. They were all so incredibly grand,
and intricate. Like
enormous.
None of this stuff exists in real life. I'm just curious where they were filming, how much of it was built, how much of it was just on location.
And just some really weird imagery too, the baby monsters.
Yeah.
And like the baby mask that Jack wears when he's going in there to torture him.
It was oddly solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes from dystopia and then it starts feeling more like a noir film. Then it starts feeling like a psychological film.
It just screams Doug Walker.
It does. It really does. I see it now.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
It really does.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, and like, it's such an interesting thing to see Doug Walker's favorite film because he's like the king of movies in my mind.
He's seen every film that we've ever known.
Exactly. So like to see his favorite is a very interesting look into the life of Doug Walker.
Right.
Okay, these are my predictions of Malcolm and Tamara watching my favorite movie of all time, Brazil. You're gonna be confused, like most people are after watching it, like I was after watching it. Trust me, it does make sense. It's not like all abstract and open to interpretation, and it actually does make sense. But the parts where you tuned out for a second, you're gonna wish you didn't tune out for a second, like any other moviegoer does. And the parts where you said, oh, maybe I should put the subtitles on, you're really gonna wish you put the subtitles on. Not just because of the thick accents, but because they throw a lot at you really fast. I think you'll like it. I don't think you'll love it. I didn't love it until I saw it a second time. But I think you'll find it as being very impressive and a neat movie. I don't know if you'll like it as much as I like it, but I think it's pretty cool, and I think you'll find it pretty cool too.
Oh, thanks, Doug. Yeah. He pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on. Yeah, I guess I like it. I mean, I don't like love it. I definitely think I'll need to give it some time before I have a second viewing because there is so much going on.
It's like we said that multiple times during watching, but like there is so much happening right now. And like who sees, I guess Terry Gilliam, but who sees that script and is like, that's something that I can bring to life.
Yeah.
You have to be ambitious AF to make that happen. It's really cool.
AF.
Ambitious AF. Okay, well, let's hair flip.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
I can hair flip too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Malcolm's the hair flip king on my channel.
Yeah, or I can bead flip.
Yeah, you can shimmy your beads.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me on this weird but impressive adventure.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see y'all next week. Thank you, Malcolm.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.